Hey, what is up guys? Today I'm going to be doing an SKX mod using the Crystaltimes bronze case. Right now I'm just installing the date wheel, and I apologize because by the time I remembered to hit the record button, I already had the old day and date wheel out of the movement. Right here I'm just installing one of the last screws, and you want to get all four of them in place and then go back over them and make sure they're tightened down. Now I'm just checking the natural date change and then the quick set. Here's the date wheel and the part number. And I personally always like to engage the teeth on the date wheel before installing the circlip, just because it's less risk of it binding and putting any pressure on the teeth. And I forgot to install the circlip. Make sure that's pressed down firmly, puff air, and now I'm checking the natural date change and then the quick set. And here's the dial. It is off of an SRP 227K baby tuna. And I got this part from watchpartsplaza.com, and I strongly recommend them for any Seiko OEM parts. Puff of air, thorough cleaning. And now I'm just changing the date over using the natural date change so I know where to put the hands at. And these hands are also off of a baby tuna, a SRP 407, and it's a limited edition Thailand version. I also got these hands from watchpartsplaza.com. Get the hour hand set. And these tools are not the best. It's just a cheap eBay tool. And I recommend, if you're considering modding, that you just go ahead and get a nice set of hand setting tools. Double check at 6 o'clock. And you always want to check at 6 o'clock because there's no room for any kind of error to hide. And I'm just checking for clearance and to make sure that the handset is stacked a decent way apart. And here's the second hand, and it's just a stock SKX second hand. And I also got this from watchpartsplaza.com. I chose it because all three hands have a blacked out back portion, and I just think they look nice together. And I don't even bother trying to install the second hand with that tool. I'm just checking for clearance. At 6 o'clock. And I set that aside in my state-of-the-art dust protector, which is just a cup from the kitchen cabinet. Here's the SKX bronze case from Crystaltimes. And I gotta say, I'm pretty impressed with the finishing on it. And this is the chapter ring off of an SRP 637K. It does not fit a stock SKX case. I had to go a little unconventional here, and I sanded it down until I could get it to fit. The plus side to that is that you don't need to use any kind of adhesive to keep the chapter ring in place. After I was done sanding the chapter ring, I did end up using my girlfriend's nail file, which had a buff and a shine on it, and that worked nicely to take away the little burr that was left on the top. And I give the dial one last cleaning here. And you can already see that Seiko loom just doing what it does. I also chose this dial because it has gilt markers, minute markers, and I think they complement the bronze case really well. And this crystal is part of a pair that comes with a Yachtmaster style sloping insert from Crystaltimes, and it's the CT911. But right now I'm just getting ready to install the crown. And I'm trying to get this lined up on camera, and it's not working well for me. But if you have an uncut crown and stem, you want to insert that into the case, and then you're going to measure the distance between the case and the crown using a pair of digital calipers. And then cut the stem, and then use a file to get rid of the burr. That way you can screw it back onto the crown. And I'm just checking the operation to make sure the stem works. And when you measure the distance between the case and the crown, you want to make sure that you don't have like the movement hacked or anything like that. So you want to have the seconds hand running so your crown is in the innermost position. And I get 8.5. And then I messed that up trying to show it on camera, but it was 8.5. Now I'm removing the crown so I can cut it. And I actually didn't get this part on camera because I cut it off to the side and then filed it because I didn't want any kind of debris getting around the work area because it could potentially find its way inside the watch. And it takes me a minute to cut the crown. But here it is all together, and I actually wasn't able to get the bezel insert on camera as well. But I must say, I highly recommend getting the CT911 if you're considering a Yachtmaster style bezel insert, because it provides a seamless transition from crystal to bezel and just gives the whole watch a more uniform and complete look, as you can see from the side profile. I also love how this bezel insert complements the dial. Both have a matte base finish, while the polished relief minute markers play nicely in the light with the hour indices. Not all mods go as planned, however, I have to say this one came out better than expected. And I paired it with this San Martin silicone strap. with matching bronze buckle. And I have to say, the quality is just as good as the factory Seiko strap that came on my Samurai. It even has the same angled slots for the pin buckle and beaded water pattern on the underside, which is a nice nod to this being a diver strap, while doubling as a way to vent the wrist from heat and moisture. Not that they get any points for taking that from Seiko. However, I do prefer the double silicone keepers to the single metal keeper on the factory Seiko strap. And here are the tactile elements of the watch. The bezel action is smooth, and I have to say Crystaltimes did a good job with this case. And look at that, Seiko, it can be done. And here's the crown action. Has a nice pop. There's the hack and setting the time. Here's the natural date change. And the quick set. And how much do you love a kanji date wheel? The crown also screws in without any kind of back thread, and it feels nice and smooth. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll catch you in the next one.